Good evening, everyone, and welcome to round 7, season 12 of Monday Night Lights. We're here at Montreal Circuit Gilles-Villeneuve. I'm your host, Alex McKellar, and joining me tonight once again is Mr. Tim Awima, aka the Golden Stig. Welcome back, Tim. Great to have you back in the booth.
Yeah, thanks, Alex. It's good to be here tonight. Bit of a break. I've had a couple of weeks off, but it's really good to be back once again commentating alongside yourself.
Yeah, mate, we're looking forward to a great race tonight. We've got a really strong field here, well inside the top five once again for the week. Just over 3,300 tonight, 3,309 I believe it is, or 3,310. Some great names out here once again. Bill Fraser, Tim Hendrickson, our commentary compatriot, Mr. Tim Gorkrotcher, also joining us out on track here tonight rather than in the booth. Great to see Tim, one of Australia's top skippy drivers, out there amongst the action tonight, eh, Tim?
Yeah, it's very good. It's good to see Tim out there on the track tonight. And yes, this is a good lineup tonight. I'm really looking forward to it. Bill Fraser, he's been taking the M&L by storm. So it'll be a really good race tonight. It's good to see Hockon out there, Ben Snell. We've got Kevin Henderson. We've got some really good drivers. And Russell Clark, I think, is making his return to some official races as well.
Yeah, fantastic to see Team Milo represented here. Car number 8 here for Russell tonight. He's done well in racing around here, although he has his ups and downs, of course. Also fantastic to see both Mick Gray, another stalwart of Monday Night Racing. He's also, I'm pleased to say, he was the first ever race winner of Monday Night Lights way back all those seasons ago. The other person I'm really pleased to see in the top split tonight is Ben Seidel. He's taken a long break from Skippy racing. He's worked hard to get back into this top split again here tonight, and I'll be interested to see. I don't know about you, Tim, but I can just picture the butterflies churning in his stomach right now.
Yeah, I could imagine, especially if you've been away for quite a while. I know I haven't done an official race for a while, but when I do go back in there, those nerves really start to kick in, especially when you're up against some of the elite drivers that are out there tonight. So yeah, good luck to him, and it should be a really good race.
Yeah, absolutely. There's some other notables in the field, of course. Håkon Grebstad joining us all the way from Norway. Ben Snell, who I believe is our current leader. Speaking of which, while we're talking of leaders, why don't we look at the standings as they sit at the moment after 6 rounds of Monday Night Lights? Let me just find the point score there. Ben Snell is, of course, our current series leader. He's currently sitting provisionally in 3rd in qualifications at the moment. Let me just pull that up while we wait. Although Håkon Grebstad, who's been able to, with the time zone changes, or at least the daylight saving changes, he's managed to jump up into 2nd spot after joining us a bit more regularly. Brad Parkin, who's more regularly seen in the 2nd split this season, he's doing fantastically well, representing the guys there in P3. Bill Fraser, who you've made mention of already, he's made a really strong charge in this sort of middle stretch of the season, and he's in P4 at the moment, looking like he could be a real contender this season as he sits provisionally on pole in this race as well. And Simon Dopp, who from memory is another regular 2nd split racer, although I noticed that Simon is in the top split as well tonight. So those regular results there and the effort he's put in certainly paying off, and seeing him again in the top split tonight, Tim.
Yeah, it's fantastic to see those 2nd split guys really make it all the way up to the top split. I know it takes a lot to get up there, and no, it's been good driving by those guys. And these standings, yeah, you see Simon Dopp there up in 5th position at the moment, the overall standings. Look, and it's a little bit deceptive, the overall standings, because when we take a few drop rounds at the end, I think we're going to find our Bill Fraser, our number 1 driver there, he's going to be sitting on top of the ladder. But obviously Ben Snell's got it at the moment, and that's the main thing.
Yeah, he's also the obviously the leading Australia-New Zealand club member, and doing us proud at the same time. So, great job for Ben so far this season. I know he's had a couple of results go his way, and a couple not so much. Last week, most noticeably, or notably perhaps. And if you've ever wondered what action from the cockpit of a Skippy looks like in the cut and thrust, some of you may recall last week we had a massive pile up on the straight at Nordschleifer. Well, I'm pleased to say we've got some in-cockpit footage to show tonight. Timo Vascalampi, who managed to clear through all the carnage, he's also a Twitch streamer, and he also wears a virtual reality headset. If you ever wondered what it'd be like to sit in the cockpit, well, folks, I've got a treat for you now. Let me just pull this up, and you'll see what I mean. You see Timo, he's looking at this gaggle of cars around him, you can see, and it all unfolds in front of him. What am I going to do? Left, right, cars dying everywhere he turns around behind him, you can see. And all these cars and mayhem behind him, still one trying to get him at the end there, and yet Timo, he survived all that to continue. I think from memory he got 4th place. That was taken from a replay, so Timo was able to turn around and look at the cars behind him. But what fantastic footage that is, Tim.
Yeah, it's quite amazing when I had a look at that replay. It was just great to see that footage and the ability in the replay. Just turn around, have a look at those cars coming in behind you, and especially the one that was trying to catch him at the end. I wasn't quite sure about that one, but it's good that he got away there.
Yeah, fantastic footage, and great that Timo was able to share that with us. Really fun to watch too. All right, so while the guys, I think everyone's sort of set their 2 laps, so we might take a quick look at the grid for tonight's race, folks. Round 7 here, of course, for Monday Night Lights at Montreal Circuit Gilles-Villeneuve. First on the grid, Bill Fraser, again, putting his stamp on this race early so far, or this event early. Tim Hendrickson, who's currently sitting in the top 10 of the official series overall, putting in a strong performance here tonight, looking to grab some more championship points, no doubt. Svein Torre Duas, apologies Svein if I've got that wrong. Great result for him in quali there in P3. Ben Snell, as we said, leading currently the Monday Night Lights, he's in P4. P5, Tim Gorkrocher jumping out of the commentary booth and into the cockpit. P6, Gonzalo Camara from Iberia. Anthony Catt from UK&I in P7. Russell Clark in P8, first or the only representative of Team Milo tonight. Kevin Henderson, another stalwart of Monday Night Lights in P9. Darryl Ridley, great to see Darryl back for another tilt in P10. John Scholz, Team Venom, close to Timmy's heart in P11. P12, Håkon Gripstad, perhaps wanting to advance from there, no doubt. Ben Seidel, as we mentioned previously, P13. Simon Dopp, P14. Tom Barry in P15. Mick Gray in P16, rounding out our field, I believe. Just quickly, while the guys are gridding up, have a quick look at the race info tonight. 12 laps around Montreal, 4.3 k's per lap, around 52k. The weather's clear, 21 degrees. Most importantly, 36 degrees on track, Tim. So quite a challenging little temperature on there for the guys to deal with.
Yeah, no, definitely tonight. It's going to be some really good racing. It's a little bit hot, but look, it's going to be. We've gridded up and looking really good. Obviously, Bill Fraser, we can't get past his #1 position there, but we're looking forward to a really good race.
Yeah, it should be fantastic. The guys all in their place now, just waiting for Ben and Tim to take their spots on the grid. No doubt giving us a chance to go through the grid. The guys know how to help us out, but the clock's ticking down now, and Tim Gorkrocher taking the grid just in time for the lights to come on, and the guys will be firing up now. Hear the engines rising there. Red light. The starters held them for a while here, folks. And we're away. Green light's down, and we're away on lap 1 here tonight of 12. Interesting down into the centre. Corners for the centre. Turn 1 into centre, then at turn 2 for the first time. Everyone looking to be getting through okay. Even at the back here, things seem to be, or a little bit of contact maybe. Light enough so that everyone's got through by the looks, Tim.
Yeah, look like a pretty clean start, and that's really good, and that's what you want on these races. You want a really good clean start. Get out, open up a little bit, and get your racing lines and fix in behind some guys, and just see if you can work out their braking markers for the first couple of laps, and then start looking at making your moves.
Yeah, just checking out a replay now. We got Mick Gray into the wall early on. He's right at the back, young Mick. Oh, there's been some confusion up front. He's collected the 16 car Simon Dopp, and that's turned him round into the wall, into the first chicane there. Shame for Mick and Simon. hopefully they'll be able to make something of this, but in a field like this, it'll be really tough to come back from there. And I've just found Tim Gorkrocher as well. He's a long way back in P14. Not what Tim will be looking for, and I'm sure he'll be looking to make a fight back from there, Tim.
Yeah, exactly right. It's a shame we missed those incidents at the back there. I was following the front two guys at the front and just missed those little ones there. But look, it is hard in this track to gain back some position. So hopefully they can just get into the pits if there's any repairs required and just give it the best and see how they go, because anything's possible in these races.
Yeah, they come, as you say, anything's possible. And as they're coming up the long casino back straight here into the final chicane, turns 13 and 14, what a great view this is. The guys ride those curves. Whoa, into the wall of champions goes Ben Snell. That's a massive incident, turn lap one, and it's really going to do him a no good at all for his championship overall. Why don't we take another look at that if we can get the on board? Where's he gone, young Ben? We might grab an instant replay and see what that looks like on board, folks. It's a really tough ride. Oh, we might go a little bit further back than that, I think. Let's try again. He's done the run up the back casino straight as we were talking about. Into this final chicane. A lot of guys changing, softening the suspension this week to deal with the big bumps. Ben's braked quite late there. I think he's gone in a bit hot. Compromise, really hit that second curbing too hard, and they don't call it the Wall of Champions for nothing. Perhaps that's an omen for Ben's good luck in the future.
Yeah, what a shame that was. You know, Ben, I was hoping that he would keep it nice and clean for this race, but yeah, just a little bit too hot into that last corner, and that, yeah, the old Wall of Champions has claimed the first car. But look, you never know. Keep it up. He might end up there. That Wall of Champions might claim a few other people tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Really interested to watch this battle up front between Tim Hendrickson and Bill Fraser. Tim Hendrickson has been putting on some great performances of late. His rating has shot through the roof. He has... he's up 5,400 or thereabouts. Bill Fraser, of course, himself is no slouch at nearly 6,000. I know Tim will be looking forward to this challenge, and he's really putting it to Bill Fraser, who's really starting to dominate this Monday Night Lights season and tucked right up under the nose. What a great view that will be as we go through that final chicane once again at the end of lap 2, Tim.
Yeah, fantastic looking at these two drive at the front. It really looks like Tim's just going to hang in behind Bill for the whole night. I think this is going to be a last lap dash. He's just going to, well, it looks like he's actually dropped off a little bit. Let me just have a look there.
Yeah, he just caught a slowdown now. He's well back in the pack now. He will be so dirty after that. He's picked up a slowdown through that final chicane, and he's deep in the pack now, sitting down in P6, leaving old mate Bill Fraser out there with a 3.5 second lead with ahead of Svine, Duas, and Gonzalo Camara in P3, Tim.
Yeah, it must have been on the last chicane. I think he just took it a little bit too tight, trying to get the right line through there. A bit of a shame to have a slowdown there. And yes, Bill's, well, looks like it's going to be a runaway at this time. Yeah,
Bill's out in fresh air. He's already added 3/10 to that lead, out to 3.8 seconds. The battle now is really at 2, 3 and 4. Russell Clark with Anthony Catt all over the back of him into the second chicane there. Out the back there at turns 8 and 9. Russell's done really well to keep the hard charging Anthony Catt at bay, but we're what are we, about 7 deep here, 8 deep if you count Hawkon, who's making a bit of a charge through the field. He's already up 4 positions. Tim Hendrickson looking to make a move on the inside of the 12 car. Anthony Catt at the chicane, at the hairpin, and they run up the back straight again now on the tail end of lap 3. Tim.
Yeah, look, Tim's really going to fight to come back there, and I'm just on board with Russell, and he's just running a nice clean race at the moment, just keeping his head down, try and pick away at those positions as they come to him. It'll be interesting to see. This is quite an interesting race. Oh, we've got Tim. Oh, Tim's just taken out Russell Clark.
Oh yeah, he's hopped in the back of him there on the way into the chicane. Let's grab that look at that on replay and see what we can see. We'll hop on board Russell here, see what it looks like from the rear. Oh, Timmy making a big lunge into that final chicane. Russell was the innocent bystander there, and that's really cost Russell big time. That's turned him and put him right at the rear of the field. He might even try to make a run at the pitch from there. No, he's continued on. What a shame for Russell there. Not of his own doing there at all, and he's been caught up in what would be a nightmare race for Mr. Hendrickson.
Yeah, look, I think I put the curse on Russell, just saying that he's sitting quite well and back in the official races, and he was, and I thought he was just going to settle in for the night, but Tim's trying to get back those positions and dived right up on him.
Yeah, what a shame. I mean, no disrespect to Tim there. He would not have meant to do that at all. He was just trying to make a move there into the final chicane, and unfortunately he's outbraked himself 2 laps in a row, perhaps a bit shaken up from the previous lap and trying to get back on as far as he could as a result goes. But yeah, real shame there as we see Gonzalo Camara and Svein Duas battling it out into the hairpin now on the tail end of lap 4. They head up this long back straight. You know, in Tim's defence, this is the best overtaking opportunity on the track. You've got this really long straight where the draft takes full effect in these cars, and you know, it looks like Svein's actually pulled out of the draft there early and just wants to tuck him behind Gonzalo. Perhaps they're thinking they want to make the most of this, what is now a 2.5 second gap to Anthony Catt in P4. Both of them going cleanly through there and looking to secure podium positions, I think, Tim.
Yeah, I think that's the order of the night is, look, if the more that you're fighting for position up the front, you're going to bring the rest of the tail in with it. But look, they're just keeping nice and clean there. Pull out of the draft where possible, but don't compromise your positions. Make sure that you can keep that gap and hopefully gain on the guys in front of you.
Yeah, just as they've gone through the turn 2 centre corner there, Kevin Henderson were riding on board with a patriotic green and gold livery here tonight. He's sitting in behind Anthony Catt. Good result for Kevin here in P5 if he can hang on to it. Good I rating and points on offer for him. He's also up 4 positions with all that action in front, and he's putting all sorts of pressure over Anthony Catt. But I tell you who's looming large in his mirrors is Håkon Grebstad. He's sitting now in P6, up 6 positions. Would have been disappointed with his qualification in P11, as we said, and certainly making the most of what he can through his run through the field, Tim.
Yeah, definitely. Håkon's doing quite well, and I'll be watching him for the rest of the night here. I actually think that he'll make those moves a bit later into the race. Sitting right behind Kevin, yeah, running in the green and gold for tonight. Got a little bit confused there. I thought I was on board with Mick Gray for a while. But yeah, definitely Håkon's just going to sit in the back here. It'll be interesting to see how he goes in the draft. Is he going to try and take a position? Will he just hold on? We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I've just spotted Darryl Ridley. I think he's just hopped into the pits. Let's just see. Yeah, he's in the pits. I might go back and see if we can see what happened to Darryl there. Yeah, he's just pulled off. Let's see what happens here. He's going through that back section of the track. Real shame for Darryl. He's got such pace. He's heading into that final chicane there. Oh, sorry, I beg your pardon. The second. Oh, he's blown his engine. A quick downshift, and that's all she wrote for car number 10 for Darryl there, into the hairpin. That's a real shame for Darryl. He was having a good run. We'll just jump back up to the front now. We've got Svein and Gonzalo battling it out still. They've still got, what's that, a 2.7 second lead, so they've increased their lead over Anthony Catt and Kevin Henderson with Håkon in P6 behind them, and those 2 battle packs seem to be the ones to keep an eye on, Tim.
Yeah, definitely. They are going to be the ones. I'm just looking at the gap to Bill Fraser, and that's now out to 5 seconds. So I think that's all she wrote for Bill. So yeah, we'll be definitely playing in this second pack, and also Kevin, Anthony and Håkon for the rest of the night, it seems. Yeah,
Bill Fraser just turning time trial laps at this stage. He's miles out. 152.8 was his last with a fun 152.2 in clean air. Of course, he's been led this race from start to finish so far, or start to this point at least. We're just about to close out the halfway mark, and he's just cutting amazing laps at this stage and streeting the field for once another victory in Monday Night Lights by the looks. Fine, putting pressure all over the back of Gonzalo, although he's really just sitting there. waiting to see what he can get out of that little battle towards the later stages of the race, I would think. But right now, it's really heating up. Hawkon's made his move. He's got Anthony Catt sitting right in the draft. He's going to cut off his move. They're going to go 3 wide into this final chicane. It's looking interesting. 3 wide, 3 guys who are not going to give any room. Can they all get through, Tim?
Oh, it's going to be interesting. And Hawkon's done the right thing. Oh, no, Anthony's going to get the slowdown. What a shame there. Hawkon took a perfect line. And he's ended up in front.
Yeah, 2 wide through there is going to be always very challenging. Anthony Catt really trying to work that slowdown. And Tim Hendrickson looking to make another move on the inside as he once again trying to charge his way through this field. Surprisingly little damage on Tim Hendrickson's car. He's got all wings intact, a little bit of a bend in the front one. Hasn't had to visit the pits yet, and now he's all the way back up to P7, putting pressure all over Anthony Catt. He'll know what he's on about now.
Yeah, definitely. This is going to be interesting. Tim has obviously got visions of he wants to be up there with Hawkon and Kevin, really fighting for those positions, and he's putting in a good effort from where he's, that little touch that got him a few positions back. He's really starting to recover now. Obviously, he's just going to try and keep some good lines and really use the draft to his advantage.
Yeah, we should see where he's going to make his move. It's not going to be into this second chicane here. He's got a nice run here. My bet is he's going to have a look into the hairpin at the start of the Casino Straight here. He's tucked in behind. Perhaps he's going to save it to the final chicane. Although it hasn't presented him with much tonight, it has to be said. And it looks like Anthony will be able to perhaps hold him off because he's got draft of the cars in front. He's only about 0.7 behind, but it does look, like Anthony might just be able to hold him off. It takes a slot. He's tried the fake. He's tried the Ricardo fake. Anthony's bought it hook, line and sinker, and in they go into the final chicane. Looks like Tim's going to get the job done. Yeah, they've made it work through that final chicane. Tim, well done, both of them.
Yeah, no, that's some really good driving. And just popping up a little bit to the front pack, I noticed that Sven seems to have dropped off, and now Hawkon's gone into third position. So I'm not quite sure what happened to Sven there. It might have been a slowdown, but they've all caught him now.
Yeah, absolutely. Hawkon now on front of that pack. That's a monster pack too. What do we got? What's that? That's 2, 4, 6 cars in this pack battling for the final spot on the podium with Hawkon. The hard charging Grebstad up 9 positions into P3. This is the final spot on the podium they're playing for, folks, and they're playing for keeps.
Yeah, definitely. And I think I was just watching Tim there. He went off into the dirt a little bit just because he got closed up a bit by Kevin Henderson. But this is going to be a very interesting battle for the third position. It's going to be a really good race. I'll
tell you what, there's a few blokes in there that take no prisoners either. So it'll be interesting to see as they come through this third chicane towards the hairpin now. On lap 8, just the balance of 4 remaining, or 5 remaining, I should say. Hawkon on the front of this is probably the most vulnerable. It's fine. He's a tactical racer. He's Hendrickson up the inside now. He's left Henderson out to dry. He's got a little nudge from Anthony Catt on the way through for his troubles, and all the while on the back of it, look who's looming up, folks. Car number 3, Tim Gorcrocher, our partner in crime here on a Monday night on any given week. He's making a massive charge back through this field after an early problem in this race. He's ranging up on the back of Kevin Henderson. Anthony Catt pulls over, opening the door for him into the final chicane. Can he get a 2 for 1, folks? No, he's playing it safe. Kevin Henderson going straight into the pits. He's copped too much damage out of that little touch from Anthony Catt, and he's had to take a pit stop, folks.
Yeah, that's an interesting move. I know he was going to lose some speed, but I actually think he was better off just staying out there for the remainder of the race. But yeah, that's his big call by Kevin there to pull into the pits. 3
wide they went through turn 1 and 2 wide through turn 2, the centre corner there. Hawkon getting a little bit, having his run cut short by Svein, driving really strongly there. Hendrickson all the way to the front, back up to P3. What a tough drive that's been for him tonight, Tim. He's certainly driving with his elbows and everything else out the cockpit.
He surely is, and look, that's to be expected of Tim, and he does mean business when he's on the track. I know he can occasionally does clip a few cars, but I mean that's his driving style, not to clip cars, but to actually really get out there, drive hard, and really race to the limits. And we saw that just before when he took that hairpin, and Kevin Henderson moved out of that line just to give him a bit of room, but it actually affected him. So yeah, no, good job there for Tim, doing really well.
Yeah, he's had his moments in this race, good and bad. Håkon Grebstad now coming up the inside is fine into this hairpin. Can't quite get it done, although he'll look to carry that inside line into the inside, out of the exit of that final hairpin there, and up the back of the casino straight. Who's going to make the most of the draft is the question up this back straight now. Tim Hendrickson on the front of this pack. Again, he's got some speed, hasn't he, really? I mean, there's enough of a gap there for him not to be under threat into this final chicane, I should say. Tim Gorkrocher looking to make the move now up the inside of Hawkeye. Oh, I beg your pardon, it's Anthony Catt. And he's held position, a couple of them making liberal use of that final curve, which is a bit of a lottery unless you get it right, of course, because that thing will spit you off into the wall of champions as soon as look at you, Tim.
Yeah, no, definitely. You don't want to play there too much. Oh, Hocon, I think we've had a major incident, major crash there with Hocon.
Yeah, let's go and have a bit of a look at that as they race down to turn one. Up on board. No, we might grab TV3 here, have a look, see what happens. Auckland's braked pretty deep, Svine into the back of Svine there, where the Svine was a little bit offline. Hawkins misjudged him, and Anthony Catt's into the rear of Hawkon, and Tim Gorkroch has come through and collected Svine on the way through. Big accident there. Be surprised to see if any of them got away without too much damage. Svine licking his wounds on the back of that pack. And looks like is that Tim Gorkroch, he's crabbing there. He looks like he might be struggling to keep that thing straight. We'll see how we go for the remainder of the race.
Yeah, look, it was a bit of a shame that I could just see there's a little bit of a tap with Hocon, and then he did break out, and then everyone sort of went into him in the end. But out of that, Tim Hendrickson has actually walked away. He'd have a little bit of a smile on his face. He's got some clean air now. So he might seal that final podium position.
I think it's pretty much signed, sealed, delivered at this point. That pack, that was big pack that was chasing, there's all split up now. It's been joined by Tom Barry, who's now splitting Tim Gorkrocher and Svein Duas. Håkon Grebstad's managed to hang on. What an eventful race he and Anthony Catt have had. Håkon now pulling to the outside, Anthony tucking in behind him. Oh, he's going to want to be careful. There's been a lot of missed braking points here tonight. Both of them looking very damaged front ends, which suggests that we saw the nose-to-tail contact for both of them in that last one. So they'll be looking to hang on and make the best of what they can out of what remains, which is just the 2 laps. Meanwhile, up front, Bill Fraser, he's cleared out 7.5 seconds ahead of P2 in Gonzalo Camara. P3, Tim Hendrickson, a further 5.8 seconds behind before we start seeing the race on in earnest again in P's 4 and 5 respectively for Håkon Grebstad and Anthony Catt, Tim.
Yeah, look, it's watching Bill Fraser up the front. It's an amazing drive tonight. I mean, obviously he's been a bit fortunate with a few accidents, but looking back, I mean, I'm looking through the pack a little bit, and we've got quite a good battle with looks like Ben Seidel, John Saltz, and now Tim Gorkrocher.
Yeah, just on board with Ben Seidel now. He's tucked in behind, Tim Gorkrocher looks to be dropping like a stone. He's just trying to carry that thing home with the damage that he's got. Disappointing race for Tim, a return to Monday Night Lights, the previous season's champion. Ben Seidel sitting now, he's dropped a bit off the back of John Scholz there. John Scholz in P8. He's now tracking down Svein Tore Duas, who is just on his 1.2 seconds behind that battle now between Svein. Tom Barry, who's charged through this field, he's up 9 positions, the biggest mover in this field tonight, really taking advantage of some of the action up front, Tim.
Yeah, he's played the fortunate race tonight of just stay on the track, keep your head down, and the positions will come to you. And it seems like he's done that tonight. Yeah, you're right, 9 positions. That's an amazing effort in this sort of field.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like we might be on for a position change once again. Håkon Grebstad pulling in behind Anthony Catt for this final lap now. They go through the, they're coming down to the final lap. We're not on the finish. The final lap's just indicating the leaders cross the line for the penultimate time, folks. We're just watching the rest of the field come across that line similarly. And this battle for P5 and 6 now, or P5 is the one that they're chasing for Hawkon and Anthony, I beg your pardon, P4 and 5. That looks like where the action up the front is, but just behind we've got Tom Barry, as we were saying. He's tucked in behind Svein, and they're having a strong battle for P6 and 7. Great to see John Scholz in that mix there as well. Team Venom Racer, car number 13 here tonight. He's looking to sniff out another position there, see if he can't grab P6 or 7 on this final lap. Meanwhile, Tim Gorkrocher, as we mentioned, he's struggling back down there in P10, limping home that car. And up front, look at him drifting through that quarter on the way down to the hairpin for the final time is Bill Fraser dominating this race. We'll try and pick him up before the end of the race. Håkon Grebstad, he's coming into the final chicane. Oh, sorry, I beg your pardon. The second chicane out the back there. He's chasing down Anthony Catt for P4 and 5, Tim.
Yeah, look, I think he's just trying to close the position enough for the final straight. So it'll be interesting to see if he can just get a good turn out of the hairpin here to set him up.
Absolutely. As we look at Bill Fraser, our race leader, he's dominated this thing flag to flag. Once Mr. Hendrickson made his mistake through this very chicane, managed to survive the Wall of Champions for that one final time as he comes to cross the line to take out, what's that, 4 on the trot, Tim? What a fantastic effort from him. Straight behind him, we've got Gonzalo Camara. He's in the 4 car tonight with the eventful Tim Hendrickson rounding out your podium, folks. Looks like that battle behind between Anthony Catt and Håkon Grebstad, that's going to go the way of, who is it, Tim, on the line? I can't see.
Oh, it's Anthony.
Anthony's got it. He's got it. Svein Torad Duez, he's crossed in P6. Tom Barry, fantastic drive from Tom, equally from John Scholz, who's had a great run through the field. Welcome back to the top split, Ben Seidel, who's managed the top 10. Tim Gorkrocher, unfortunate for Tim, but still managing to hang on for a top 10. Poor old Russell Clark. He was the innocent bystander tonight. He's managed to finish in the points, as has Jason Willman, who looks, although we didn't see much of him tonight, or any of him in fact, he's got a bit of damage to the front of his car, so it looks like he had an eventful race, but still managed to finish in the points, Tim.
Yeah, look, that rounded out a good race tonight. It was a shame with all the contact as we go, but that's racing, and it was really good to see some of the guys that we don't see much get up there and have a go and finish up in the points. You're right with Russell Clark and Ben Seidel and John Schultz. Very good effort tonight.
Yeah, fantastic by all. That was an exciting race, wasn't it? Let's take a look at our results, folks. For round 7 here at Montreal, we had Bill Fraser once again dominating flag to flag. Tim Hendrickson put some pressure on early, but was unable to maintain it, and Bill just drove away from them. Gonzalo Camara from Iberia in P2. Tim Hendrickson, what an eventful race he had in P3. Anthony Catt similarly. He had his trials and tribulations, to be sure. He's done well in P4. Håkon Grebstad, what a fantastic drive from him. He had that little mistake which busted up that pack, but still up 7 positions in such a hotly contested race is a fantastic effort, rounding out your top 5. Svein Tore Duas, I must speak to Svein and learn how to pronounce his name midweek, I think. He's in P6. Tom Barry, I haven't seen Tom in too many of these. Might be his first appearance. I've seen him in plenty of Skippy races lately, but he's in P7 tonight. John Scholtz, first of the Australian New Zealand club members tonight, in P8. A great drive from John. Welcome back as we... Oh, Ben Seidel twice there. Maybe, hang on, let me just try and pull that up again and see what we've got. See if we've got Ben twice. Yeah, we got Ben twice. Well, that's not right. Ben finished in P9, and P10 was Tim Gorkrocher. who got skipped there for some reason. Not sure why he got skipped, but anyway. P11 was Russell Clark, the unfortunate bystander, as we mentioned, who got caught up in Tim Hendrickson's adventures tonight. Jason Willman, once again, didn't qualify, but he still managed to gain 5 positions and finished in the points. Once again, Jason's been with us for, along with Kevin Henderson, the most races out of anyone in Monday Night Lights. Simon Dopp, currently doing really well in the standings, as we saw. He's in P13, won't get any points out of tonight. Mick Gray in P14, unlucky on those opening laps for Mick, and he's been unable to claw back through the field. Kevin Henderson, Ben Snell and Darryl Ridley all retired from this race through separate incidents. Kevin we saw pull into the pits and looks like he's called it a night there, with Ben Snell and Darryl Ridley rounding out your field, Tim.
Yeah, look, I was really enjoyed tonight's racing, and it was a great result by all drivers, you know, to get out there, give it a go. Even though we had a few incidents, it's a shame Tim couldn't get his name on the leaderboard. It's as though he can't be on there, and we've had to have Ben twice. And, it just shows he needs to be in the commentary box. But no, look, really, really good. Enjoyed tonight's racing, and hopefully we get a few guys to come up to the commentary booth for an interview.
Absolutely, we have one now. As it turns out, I'll bring up our Mr. Gorcrotcher and see if we find out what an eventful race he's had. Mr. Gorcrotcher, Alex McKellar and Tim Awema here, mate. An eventful race for you, mate. Tell us, how did things unfold for you tonight?
Yeah, hey guys, nice to be on the other end of the stream. Qualifying went alright. I got a 0x on the second lap, and I probably would have put myself in third. It's one of those things. The lap doesn't count. And got a good start. I was a bit too cautious, thinking I'll leave Ben heaps of room, because I got a late call, like in game, from the pitman saying car right, and I thought, I wonder if that's the same for Tim. So I cut the corner a bit tight. Sorry, I wondered if that was the same for Ben, and I cut the corner a bit tight, and I got a 4.2 second slowdown. And then, not wanting to get a black flag because I had to serve the slowdown, and 4.2 seconds is ages, it would have taken me until like the curving right hand to maybe turn like 6 or between turn 5 and 6 or 6 and 7 to serve that, and I was probably at risk of a black flag. So I was struggling for somewhere to pull over. I thought I'd best sit on the left-hand side of the track, and I made a call over the PA in the game. I've got a slowdown, and it looks like a couple of guys got caught up, which was unfortunate. And it was pretty exciting to battle my way through, and I think I made some good overtaking moves. I didn't lick any stamps or anything, but it was a lot of fun. And unfortunately, I got caught up with Anthony Hawkon and Maybe's Fine, and I think my line into turn 1 was pretty good, but I think Hawkon got into the back as Fine, and Anthony hit Hawkon, and there was nowhere for me to go. So I limped around for the last few laps with a bit of damage, and ended up in 10th. So, you know, I hoped I could battle for a win, and importantly for me, I got the fastest lap of the race, and I guess that's some sort of consolation. You know, for me, that's really important, because results don't matter, fastest laps do.
Of course they do. Well, it's by a whopping 3/1000ths of a second, from what I can tell.
Hey, take any gloss off it, Alex.
That's a margin and a half there, mate. Listen, yeah, I just caught some footage of that slowdown at the start. The spotter that you mentioned, they don't kick in till so late that, yeah, it seems like a late call. And then I learned recently that the slowdowns that you get work on your average lap time, and of course on lap 1 you don't have an average lap time, so they're all out of whack, so you get these massive slowdowns. It's particularly evident at a place like Le Mans, but apparently that's what's massively impacted your race here tonight, mate. And then that incident we saw at turn 1, which I think you just got caught up in more than anything else. Looked like Hawkon and Svein got together, and then you had little or nowhere to go, because there were 2 and 3 wide at that point, mate. But it looked like a fun return, if nothing else, or not a fun so much as an exciting one, an eventful one, and hopefully you took something out of it anyway, mate.
Yeah, I did. I took a 51 iRating loss, but I got a 0.05 on the SR, so a good race tonight. But no, like probably through lap, I don't know, 5 through to I think 9 or 10 when we had the incident was actually, I hope you got some footage. It was pretty exciting. There was 5 or 6 of us going hammer and tong, really close racing, and difficult to pass because everyone's got the draft. So, you know, the guy at the front's run's compromised. He might get past, but really it's difficult for anyone else to. But it was good fun, and it was a good comeback to racing despite the, you know, 10th isn't ideal, but it is what it is. But it was a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed it. So, yeah, hopefully there'll be a couple more opportunities to race M&L. We'll see how the Monday nights go, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we did catch a lot of that action, and you're right, it was great to see on the screen, as I imagine it was in the cockpit, mate. And it was a very welcome return, mate. Great to see you back out on the track. One of Australia's top skippy drivers, current M&L champion, who's given up his drive to help us out in the commentary booth this season. So that's been much appreciated. Mr. Awema, have you got any other questions for our compatriot here, mate?
Oh, geez, I could give him some fun facts about the track, but I don't know if I've got any questions for him. It was I was looking forward to it tonight, Tim. I thought you were going to get out there and give it a really good go. It was a real shame about that incident in turn 1. I did see you had nowhere to go, but yeah, what can you do? I mean, unfortunately, that's how the racing goes.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate, but you know, I think I was aware that the racing was close, and I was particularly worried, like laps prior to that, something may happen and it could cost all of us, particularly, you know, through the Wall of Champions. And a number of people I passed early in the race had slowdowns there. So for it to happen at turn 1 was a little bit disappointing, actually, and something I wasn't prepared for. But, you know, I chucked up the inside of Anthony thinking, you know, it's kind of now or never, and I can probably work my way around the outside of him. If I didn't get it done through turn 1, I would have made it, you know, by the time we got to turn 3. But we didn't get that far, unfortunately. But, yeah, one of those things, mate. There'll be other weeks to make amends for it. And as I said, I had a good time. So.
Oh, that's the main thing. Now, there will be more opportunities for you to race M&L. I'll cement my position in the box unless Alex removes me.
Mate, I'm sure you've done a stellar job, and there's no chance of that.
Yeah, very good. All right, Mr. Gorcrotch, before we let you go, mate, anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Obviously, thanks to you guys for hosting, and RRTV, of course, Bernie and co. And hopefully see you guys again on track in the very near future.
Awesome. Thanks, Tim. Look forward to speaking to you soon, mate.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Speaking of the great Bernie Wiemers, I've just had the results from the second split passed on to me, and the man himself was in the field. The great Bernie Wiemers. He hasn't had the result he was looking for down in P16, but it's fantastic to see our event here tonight bringing out the likes of even the great man himself, who once again left the key under the mat and led us into the commentary booth. What a crazy man he is for doing that, but fantastic to see Bernie back out on the track after such a long hiatus. Looks like he had some adventures out there, but certainly no doubt with a big smile on his face. But on to the other results in that split. A couple of guys that new to the M&L series in Daniel Casas and Alberto Martin Marquez look to have taken out top 2 spots. Another of the Team Venom races, though, on the podium in Les Peck. Fantastic drive by Les. A couple of regulars ran out your top 5 in Wayne Drury and Darren Lasue. Great to see the ANZ club well represented there in the top 5. Brad Parkin, who we saw in well up in the order in the Monday Night Lights standings, down in P8, scoring some points with Ken Himes, Mark Jeffrey in P9 and 10 respectively. Also season regulars who've picked up some points there, Tim. So plenty of action in the second split by the looks.
Yeah, no, it looks like a really good result there, especially for Les, one of the Venom Racing guys. Really good to see. He's actually doing quite well. I was actually commenting on his result the other day when I was doing the results up in the tally, and he's sitting in 6th position overall for the M&L. So that's quite a good effort when you're racing in the second split.
Well, speak of the devil, looks like he's down in the green room. Why don't we bring him up and we can have some Venom on Venom, and we'll see how Les went. Mr. Peck, Alex McKellar and fellow Team Venom Racing member Tim Awema here, mate. Thanks for shooting through those results. Looks like you've jagged another great result there with P3, mate. How was the racing out there in the second split?
Really good, mate. Yeah, happy with another third. Yeah, the race was really good. Me, Brad, and Mark were racing it for a fair few laps for third. Then, unfortunately, they had it coming together, which Mark stayed behind me. Brad had to pit. But then at the end, Mark stopped on the line and let Brad through to redress the spot. So that was really good of Mark as well.
Yeah, mate. Well, there's a couple of Team Venom guys there having a fun night out at the races, by the sounds of it, mate. And great to see the ANZ club so well represented. There were 3 out of the top 5 there, and great to see some of the regulars getting in the points as well, with Brad, Ken, and Mark all getting MNL points, mate, and keeping their tilts going. So. But otherwise, mate, was the racing pretty solid out there tonight? I know we saw plenty of action out here tonight. Plenty of fellas getting stuck out at those nasty, bumpy chicanes.
I did see something happen in the first turn on the first lap in my revision mirror, but apart from that, as where I was, everyone was pretty clean and sort of straight in a straight line, trying to catch up to Daniel Cass, and I can't remember the other bloke's name, but yeah. It was fairly straightforward, and there was a few accidents, like a few people say things over radio, but yeah, I'll make another replay of it and put it up in the forum this week.
Beautiful, mate. Those replays are looking solid, so look forward to seeing the next one. Speaking of which, the next one, Mr. Awema, have you got any questions for your Team Venom Racing co-driver, mate?
Oh, geez, questions. What have I got for Les tonight? Well, no, it's actually quite a good performance. I've been watching, doing your results up, and notice you're in the top 10. You're actually 6th at the moment in the MNL. This season, you've raced the MNL a lot more. Are you actually trying to cement a constant drive in the MNL every week now, or is it something you start off the season and end differently? What's the plan?
Just to get out there and have a bit of fun, really, is the plan. I don't intend on getting the podium or anything. It's always nice to get it, but just have fun with Brad and Mark, and like we had Mick Gray last week, Simon Dopp. So it's just get out and have fun with the boys and see what happens. So yeah, it's just all good fun.
Very good. No, it's good to see you up there on the podium, and a well-deserved result for this week.
Yeah, fantastic effort, Les. Great to see so many of the regular Monday Night Light guys, whether they're in the top split or the second, so well represented in the overall standings. You know, yourself there with some good points tonight. You know, you're ahead of Simon, who didn't get any in this top split, so you're a good chance of jumping up into the top 5, mate. Brad Parkin, I think, did he get any points? I'm just checking. I don't think. Yeah, he did. So he might struggle. He might be 5th, but working your way up in that solidly in the top 5, mate.
Nice. It's a good little bonus, but yeah, as I said, it's all just getting out there and having fun.
Excellent, mate. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go, mate?
Oh yeah, just the boys that we race with. They're always good fun to race with. Good to see Bernie in the field tonight. Yeah, just for something different. And of course, the Venom Racing boys.
Beautiful. Thanks, Les. Yeah, mate, it was great to see Bernie out there. I knew he was carrying a bit of nerves and looks like he had an eventful race, but nonetheless, great to see him back on track. Great for you. Great result for you tonight, Les. Congratulations, and we look forward to seeing you soon, mate.
No worries. Catch you later, fellas.
Well, there you have it, Tim. Another eventful night's racing here at Montreal. Fantastic track, fantastic race. Plenty of good action there. Deep in the field, there was some door-to-door, wheel-to-wheel action. Some mixed results for some of the guys out there, but certainly fun had by all, no doubt.
Yeah, no, it was a really good night. And then just for look, and I always come up with my fun facts for each racetrack. And tonight's fun fact, and actually it goes back to the Kota racetrack. You can actually walk this circuit. 151 days it's open for the public to go and walk, ride, or inline skate. There's your little fun fact if you're over there and you want to visit the track.
Well, if you want to visit the track, make sure you get your skates on, folks. So that's the message of the day from young Tim. Tim, anything going on in the world of the Golden Stig this week? We're going to see you streaming again.
Oh, yeah. Look, I've been a couple of weeks off, and I was hoping to stream just before I had to go away. But look, I'm back. this Friday night I will be FNRC going to stream. I've promised Dennis Fiddler that I will have the golden goggles out this week, so we will be racing on Friday night and Saturday night.
Beautiful. So to see the golden stig with the golden goggles, head over to Twitch TV/Robius, ROBIUS TV. On a Friday night, you'll see all the action there. Similarly for me, at the Top Split TV over on Twitch, I'll be streaming similarly on Friday and Saturday nights, if not before. You can always head over to thetopsplit.com and check out the latest episode of the podcast, as well as some of the back catalogue there. Now, if I can just find what's coming up on RRTV this week, I'll tell you what, there's plenty going on. If I can just find it here, I know they'll have the speedway racing on Wednesday night. We've got GT racing, I think, again this week. Let me just find our events list here. Apologies, folks. I should be more professional and more organised, but plenty to see on this channel this week, and it's not coming up for me, unfortunately. So I know there's the speedway racing on a Wednesday night with the Thunder on Thursday if you like your oval racing, and then there's V8s generally on a Friday night, folks, and on Saturdays you get your GT racing fix. So head over to RRTV during the week, and if not, join us on Twitch as well at Robius TV and Top Split TV. All right, folks, that'll round us up for round 7 of Monday Night Lights. Thank you, one and all, for joining us both on the stream and in the chat. It's been great to see plenty going on in there as well. We really do appreciate you joining us. And until next week, where I believe we're at the Great Spa, which is going to be really exciting. On behalf of Tim Awima and myself, Alex McKellar, we look forward to you joining us then, and I will say ciao for now.